I'm Ann Stinnett. I'm the math specialist for the Knox County Schools, and I'm excited to bring you a new Canvas resource for elementary math intervention teachers. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the resources available to the elementary math teachers, and it is designed to help you identify resources and materials you'll need to address the academic needs of students in tiers 2 and 3 for elementary math. So instruction in all tiers have a couple of requirements based on our framework for RTI squared. The first I in RTI squared is instruction. So obviously a good strong tier 1 instructional model, which in Knox County, Ready Math is our base resource for tier 1 instruction. And what we need to be able to do as intervention teachers is identify students' strengths and opportunities for growth. We need to understand their goals and their learning styles. So to understand all those needs of our students, we have to understand those specific skills and areas of need for which students might need interventions. So it's a little bit of a guess and check at first to really understand the skills that students need in intervention. Therefore, we can't really follow a scripted scope and sequence that would fit the needs of all of our students. Every student is unique, and we need to understand those needs so that we can monitor and adjust instruction as needed. So in our Canvas course, I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. But first, I want to remind you that when we're selecting materials for math intervention, that the first thing we need is someone who is trained, someone who is talking with the tier 1 teacher if it is not the tier 1 teacher, someone who understands how to pick and choose the right resources for the students and what their unique needs are. So we have multiple data points in our district. We have classroom assessments, classroom work, Ames Web Plus data. Some schools have purchased iReady in addition to Ready Math, and those are great things to look and determine what a student's skill gap might be, or to help choose the most appropriate sequence of instruction for tiers 2 and 3. So that piece about being developed on the unique needs of students is really important, and that's a collaboration across teachers if we're sharing students in intervention and for the RTI team at the school level. The other two most important components of a good intervention for math is that they're explicit and systematic. So that systematic piece is carefully thought out. It's designed for the students to provide appropriate practice. That's the collaboration piece, and it should reflect instruction in the classroom. The explicit part is where students and teachers are face-to-face, either in person or virtually, whether it's a synchronous class or a small group during core extension. But that direct, highly structured face-to-face teaching is necessary to intervene for our math students. So we do ask that students in tiers 2 and 3 spend the majority of their instructional time engaged in teacher-delivered direct instruction. So where the teacher is using instructional models, explanations, discourse, guided practice, and students are practicing over and over and over so that they can gain mastery of a skill. So we realize this is a daunting task, particularly for teachers who may be teaching students outside of their classroom or for teachers who are teaching multiple groups throughout the day. So we've created this Canvas course, and if you self-enroll, which there is a link here in this newsletter, if you found the video here, your instructional coach in your building has those codes, and we are more than welcome to send them to you if you email one of us through the math department. But when you enroll in the Canvas course, I've set the modules as your homepage, so you'll go straight to what you see here on your screen. And right now, the kindergarten and first grade modules are not finished, so you don't see them yet. But we do have resources for 2nd through 5th grade ready to go. We're still adding things to these pages, so stay tuned and we'll get more here for you to use. So the first thing I want to show you, I'm going to go to 3rd grade because I think it is the most complete, is the tools for 3rd grade instruction. And what we have here is a table of direct instruction, mostly print resources for your students in math intervention. The first column, the 3rd grade expectations, mirrors the 3rd grade grade level tier 1 curriculum. So the first thing that third graders do in this example is focus on place value. So in this document, it says Unit 1. Just a little caveat, the actual curriculum for third grade starts with Unit 2 in the book. So the numbers might not match exactly. Just know that in this Canvas course for intervention, the numbers are in chronological order. They may not look the same as the curriculum. So what we have here are all of the resources available for students who need work with place value. And we started with below grade level resources, which would be most appropriate for tier 2. And then if your students need something beyond that, they can go to well below resources and get more activities. So this is an example of all of the resources you have available, not necessarily required resources available. So this is where that systematic piece and that collaboration and knowing the unique needs of students is going to be really important, because you might have third graders that need to start here because the grade level curriculum starts here, and that's fine to start here. You might have a preponderance of data in AimsWeb or in iReady that says your students need to start somewhere else, and that is okay. This is a menu, so you can pick and choose wherever you need to start and wherever you need to go. Your students might need one or two of these resources. Your students might need all of them. It is up to you to determine what's best for them. So we just put this resource in order by the curriculum, just so that you can see how things flow in tier 1 instruction, if that's not typically where you spend your instructional time as a teacher. So again, you might get down to word problems and realize you need to go back up and hit some more resources and place value, and that's fine. This is meant for you to pick and choose. It is also okay to go right through it. If that's what your students need, then work right through all of these resources. So the two resources referenced on these pages in these tables come from Ready Math, which is our primary district curriculum, and Moving with Math, which is our primary district intervention program. So I'm going to show you what those two things look like, because they are both instructional resources. So on the screen, you have an example of Tools for Instruction from Ready Math and an example of the Teacher's Edition from Moving with Math. So I'm going to start with Moving with Math. Every building has at least one teacher's guide for every grade level in Moving with Math. And you'll see here that the lessons are listed by objective. So here we're looking at objective 4, which in our Canvas course is right here, objectives 1 and 2, objectives 4 through 11. So even though this image here is from the 8th grade book, it's still the same objective 4. And this gives you what the objective is, to identify place value of numbers up to trillions. Now, we don't need to go up to trillions in 3rd grade, but remember, this is an 8th grade example because that's the only book I had. So the materials that are needed, some activities, some vocabulary, and some notes. So this is essentially a light script of what you would do with the students in the group. Sometimes there are journal prompts or games to play. There's always an example of the page from the student book. Some schools choose to purchase those student books every year. Some schools choose to simply copy them and keep a class set. It's however you want to best use them, but the student pages are not required. It's up to you and what you're comfortable with your students. There are also skill builder activities that you can copy out of the teacher's guide. All of your black lines and everything are here as well. The skill builders are simply for extra practice and are not meant to be the main instructional component of the program. So this would be your lesson, which may take a day or multiple days, depending on what it is. The other thing you have for direct instruction are the tools for instruction generated from Ready Math. If your school has purchased iReady, these tools for instruction will be linked in with the diagnostic results for the students in your groups. If you do not have iReady, these tools for instruction can be found on the teacher toolbox. So what we did in Canvas is we organized these for you by the curriculum in a progression of below grade level and well below grade level. So they're the same documents, we just organized them for you. And the same as with the Moving with Math is it gives you the objective, the materials, and the activity. And then in the PDF that you download, it might have any black lines that you need as well. So those are linked right here in this Canvas page. So anytime you need them, they are here. And like I said, pick and choose what you need to meet the needs of your students. We're adding more as we work on these. So some of them are not linked yet, but they will be soon. And the next page gives you some options for blended instruction. So if you're looking to incorporate some digital resources or you need to add to your direct instruction, just remember the majority of the time spent in intervention has to be teacher directed. So we don't expect students to sit on a computer and be taught digitally the whole time. So here is a list of some free resources to supplement Moving with Math. The top thing here is a link to, to a document we created a couple years ago that shows each domain in the grade levels and some supplemental resources like the Envision kits. So if you still have those and you want to use those, there are more resources there. This is an old document which may be made obsolete by this Canvas course, but if you're looking for it, it's here. And then we have our Ready Math Teacher Toolbox, which is linked on the previous page by skill in a progression of below grade level and well below grade level. If you have iReady, those tools for instruction will be generated by the iReady program, and you are more than welcome to pick and choose from that. Zearn is a free website that gives you instructional resources. Again, you have to choose and determine the appropriate sequence, but the lesson plans are there and the activities are there. CK12 is the same. It is a library of free online lessons and resources. So if you do have virtual students that need to work sometimes asynchronously or need to work through activities and lessons, those are two great resources. We also have resources we've used in the past, like Extra Math, Freckle, and Prodigy. Extra Math is basic facts practice only, sort of like flashcards. Freckle, you can pick and choose different skills, or you can run students through some extra practice on skills chosen by the teacher. Used to be called Front Row. It's the same program. And then we also have Prodigy, which is a game-based program. Students can spend a lot of time playing in Prodigy and building their avatar and working on, their little items for their avatar. But it is incredibly engaging, and students have to do math to earn those things. So there is a way as a teacher to monitor their time on task and keep them motivated. Like with all of these digital resources, the teacher has to be there to keep the kids moving and keep them motivated. And Prodigy is a good one. It engages a lot of kids in a lot of math. So the last thing I wanted to show you is our fluency resources. We've created a position statement for mastering basic math facts, and it is linked in this Canvas course as well. We spent a lot of time talking with teachers about basic math fact fluency in the past couple of years, and what we can do as intervention teachers to minimize math anxiety and get kids to enjoy learning math because they understand math. So this page is a link to our position, how basic math fact fluency is built and retained. So all of that is here. But what we ask is that kids are talking about math, that teachers are talking about math, that we're getting kids excited about math. One of the most important things you can do to set your elementary school students up for success in secondary math and beyond is to get them to enjoy exploring math. Talk about it, have fun with it. Don't underestimate the power of some good games. We have resources on this page for games. Again, you'll see Extra Math and Prodigy, but Kakuma and Bedtime Math are also fun ones and great ones to share with parents. We have resources for daily routines. Just like in the Tier 1 classroom, daily number talks are incredible for students who struggle. It can really give you insight into what they're doing in their head while they're working math problems. And those conversations can be just as rich with intervention students as they are in your Tier 1 classes. So these are all linked to different resources where you can download things to do daily to help build your students' number sense. And we are also linked to our Knox County YouTube page here, which has strategy videos and this video that I'm making right now. The final thing on here is a progression of the fluency expectations. So know that students in each grade are expected to meet these fluency requirements by the end of the grade. So if you're trying to really focus on what students need to learn and remember by the end of the year, here are the expectations in our standards. So that way it can help you get a little more specific sometimes when you're choosing what to practice in building fluency for your students. So that is all here. It is available. It is ready to go. We look forward to seeing how our teachers are using this resource. And as always, if there's something you wish you had, feel free to reach out to me, Ann Stinnett, your elementary math facilitator, or Gary Petco, our math supervisor. We are all here to help you this year. And thank you so much. Enjoy teaching your kids, and we look forward to seeing you in school.